I created G plans out of nutrition frustration. One day during nutrition studies at Duke University, we came across a revelation. We discovered that everyone has a completely unique metabolic structure and type. Eating a generic diet program will not get you the results you want, and you will continue on a path of yo-yo dieting forever. Ultimately, sustainable food programs are built within your own specific metabolic template.
I eat what Dr. G tells me to eat for my metabolic type. I don't call this program a diet because I eat more than on other programs.
Hello, and welcome to another Nutrition Masterclass. I'm so glad you've joined me today. I have a great topic to discuss today, something super important. So I'm so glad you've tuned in. I do see already here, looks like quite a few people checking in. That's awesome. Cassandra, Alex, so glad to see you. And then looks like Vel. Alex as well, and Kara, y'all are new to the program, so I'm glad to see y'all here. Welcome to G Plans. All right, so we're going to get started with this presentation in just a moment here. So just as a reminder, please feel free to add any questions you may have come up throughout this presentation in the chat box. Always like to have a little bit of discussion, kind of talk and answer any of questions that you have at the end. So again, please feel free to add those. And we're going to dive on in. Today, we're discussing specifically why it's so important to prepare some of your own meals at home. So we're going to discuss the why behind that and some tips, some things that can help as you get started and to make things a little more simple as well. So we'll jump right in here. All right. Okay, so why learning to prepare your own food is important for weight loss. So why is cooking at home important for weight loss? Today, more than ever, we are so busy and looking for ways to save time. This can lead us to eating out more frequently, and even when you try your best to make healthy choices, it can be tough to determine exactly how many calories you are consuming. According to a study published in the Journal of the American Dietetic Association, your chances of gaining weight actually increase when just one meal a week comes from takeout. This is why it is so important to prioritize home-cooked meals and preparing your own food. When you prepare your meals, you are in full control of the ingredients and the portion sizes. This allows you to not only learn more about portion sizes and how to add variety to your meals, it also allows you to be in full control of the nutrition you are consuming. There is nothing wrong at all with eating out on occasion, but eating out too frequently can cause you to lose progress towards your goals. So let me know at this time, have you ever struggled before to consistently prepare meals at home? Let me know in the chat box what some of your challenges with this might be, and I'd love to discuss that with you after this presentation today. All right, so why is cooking your own meals so important anyways? We already know that the more people generally cook at home, the healthier their diet, the fewer calories they consume, and the less likely they are to be obese or develop type 2 diabetes. A growing body of scientific evidence supports doctors even teaching patients how to cook meals at home as an effective medical intervention for improving diet quality, weight loss, and diabetes prevention. So what are some additional reasons why preparing your meals is so important? You will generally reduce added sodium, added sugar, and saturated fat in your meals when you prepare things more at home. Cooking at home is now much less expensive in general than eating out. Preparing your own meals gives you better control over your portion sizes. Studies do show that individuals who eat out less generally do consume more fruits and vegetables. And lastly, making your own meals helps to increase mindfulness around food, increases that connection that we have with our meals, with our food, and helps us to enjoy things. So this is a big one. What if I don't have enough time? So it's obvious that preparing more meals at home is healthier and even less expensive than ordering takeout. But what if you simply don't have the time to cook? First off, keep it simple. So if you're short on time, stick to very basic recipes. If you are a G-Plans member, you can look for easier to prepare meals under the 15 minutes or less or 30 minutes or less categories. This will come right up for you if you do select a swap a meal within your meal plan. Secondly, a meal prep or batch cook. Prepping meals for, of course, a few days in advance or batch cooking a few ingredients to use in recipes throughout the week is a major time saver. Get creative with cooking methods like a slow cooker, an air fryer, or oven-baked sheet pan meals. So keep in mind, of course, so many additional ways to prepare things that can kind of save you a little bit of time as well. And lastly, use a meal delivery service to supplement your meal prep as you get started. So that can help out a ton rather than relying just on last minute options while you're out and about grabbing something to eat. At least opting for a meal delivery service can help you stay on track a little better with your goals and take a little pressure off of cooking everything when you're starting. All right, so some tips on how to make preparing your own meals a little bit easier. Like I just mentioned, batch cooking ingredients helps to save time because you already have a few steps completed. So you'll see in the picture I have here in the upper right-hand side, it's just an example of what batch cooking kind of looks like. So rather than, for example, meal prepping is great, but batch cooking is just having ingredients that are already prepped and ready on hand to use in other recipes during your week. So having a few staples like chicken breast or sweet potatoes ready to go in the fridge can help tremendously as you use them. They're already prepped for the week. Make a stir fry. So really easy dish if you have pre-cut veggies or frozen veggies, plus maybe a pre-cooked protein source that you batch cooked that week. Literally all you have to do is add some seasonings, throw it in a skillet, and you have an easy one-pan meal. Sheet pan meals as well are a huge time saver. Just got to chop a few ingredients and throw them in the oven. Definitely use your slow cooker. It's getting a little cooler outside too. We're getting closer to fall. So lots of great recipes you can use in your slow cooker. If you don't have a ton of time as well in the morning to prep things for that slow cooker, definitely prep those ingredients the evening before. And use frozen vegetables. So not only are frozen veggies just as nutritious as fresh vegetables, they're already pre-cut and ready to be used. You also reduce food waste. So instead of maybe having some vegetables throw out because they're getting a little too old in your fridge, those frozen vegetables are going to last much longer, of course. All right, and these are a few examples of the things I just mentioned. So just a couple visuals of kind of a slow cooker meal there on the right, more of a one pan kind of skillet stir fry dish in the middle, and then there on the left a sheet pan meal, which I'm a huge fan of as well. Works so well to just throw your source of protein. In this case, it was broccoli and sweet potato. So nice well-rounded meal, super easy, and you can kind of switch up your seasonings, kind of get some different flavors going with options like this as well. So with that being said on the seasonings, make sure you prevent boredom with your plan. So while it is important to prioritize simple options that are quick to prepare when you're busier. It's also important to give yourself a bit of variety just to ensure that you don't get bored. When you find yourself growing bored with your plan, you may find it tougher to avoid temptations in general. Small changes like different seasoning mixes, herbs, and low-calorie condiments can help to add in some variety with flavors. Even just trying a new veggie for the week is a great way to just kind of mix things up a bit. Another way to give yourself new options and cut back on some of your meal prep time as well is, again, to take advantage of a meal delivery service. This is an excellent option as you begin meal prepping because you can focus on cooking a few meals at first and then kind of increase from there as you get more comfortable. Many meal delivery services as well, they also show you all the nutritional information. So this is a lot better choice in general than kind of last minute picking something while you're out and about. Also, these meal delivery services with that nutritional information will be a lot easier to work into your plan, and you'll be able to see the ingredients and know a lot more about what you are consuming versus just kind of a takeout meal. All right, and so make it a habit. So important. You'll see here on the right-hand side, I have an image of a habit loop, something I've definitely discussed a couple times before. Essentially, a habit loop is started by a cue or a trigger, which leads to the routine itself, and then essentially the reward. So if you're getting started preparing more meals at home, the first thing to remember is start slowly. If it seems overwhelming to begin prepping your meals for the entire week or cooking dinner every night, set a goal to start cooking dinner 3 nights a week. The end goal is definitely to establish a routine that is sustainable for you and becomes a habit. Looking at the habit loop, you can see that routine, again, is triggered by a cue or a trigger. When it comes to cooking at home, this cue could look like clean pans, ready to go, ready to be used, or setting out maybe a note of encouragement to yourself. This cue helps to trigger the habit loop. As you work towards building that habit, remember to also find ways to enjoy the process. Try things like playing music, lighting a candle, maybe involving your partner or your children in the process of cooking. It's much, much easier to stay consistent with a habit that we enjoy. All right, so in conclusion here, at the end of the day, it is so important to prepare at least some of your own meals. If you rely on eating out too frequently, you can easily begin to see a decline in your weight loss progress. In a recent study that tracked 35,000 adults for 15 years, those who ate out the most were also the most likely to suffer heart disease, cancer, and other major diseases. Those who ate 2 meals or more per day away from home had a higher risk of all-cause mortality compared to those who rarely ate away from home. Even when you do your absolute best to select healthy choices, you're never completely in control of your nutrition when you are eating out. The best way to ensure that you are on track with your nutritional goals is to prepare your own meals. This allows you to ensure you are consuming the correct portion sizes and fully control what is added to that meal. So, hope this was a helpful presentation today. Again, so important. Please feel free at this time, as we've reached the end of this presentation, if you have any questions with this topic we've discussed today or anything else I can help with, go ahead and add those in the chat box, and I'd love to chat with you here. All right. Okay. Well, hello. I see Margaret checking in there, Charlie as well. Okay. And then looks like Kara said some bad habits. Sometimes I cannot even be hungry, but the draw to that drive-through is so compelling. Yeah, and again, I would encourage you almost to look back again at that habit loop. So of course, over time, there's certain things that can trigger us that do act as that cue to that habit. Whether it be maybe a good habit that we're wanting to build or something that we consider maybe a bad habit. Identify what that trigger or that cue is for you and see if there's something that you can do to disrupt that cue that can help you to avoid that in that situation. All right, Alex says, I will keep that batch cooking in mind. Yeah, batch cooking is awesome. So especially, it's awesome, great to prepare your actual meals for the week, but gives you a little more variety, a little more flexibility throughout the week as well to have those just prepped ingredients that you can, again, use in a lot of different ways throughout the week. So again, like I said, keeping a little variety going is so important as well to make sure you're not getting really bored with your plan and your options. All right. And Julie says, hello, nice to see you. All right. Well, oh, good. Susan says she loved this. I'm very glad. Hope this was a helpful topic. So keep in mind, of course, with busy schedules, it can be very overwhelming. So if you set a goal for yourself or you want to start preparing all your meals at home, might be a bit much to start with. Start slowly, and you can gradually increase from there. So set a goal, maybe prepare meals a couple times a week, and slowly work that into your routine. All right. Yeah, Camilla says, do you have any tips for adapting this for those of us living overseas? That's a good question. I would say for the most part, as far as I'm aware, I think a lot of these same kind of principles should be pretty applicable. Definitely, again, the most control that you have to prepare things yourself. And then if you do have an ability to take advantage of a meal delivery service, kind of gets you a little more in control of your nutrition versus just kind of selecting something last minute when you're out and about. It's going to give you a lot more, in general, just control over the nutrition that you are taking in. All right. And Beverly looks like she got a little thrown off her plan, getting back on track. Go you. That's awesome. It's going to happen at a certain point with our plans. You are going to fall off track. It will just happen. So again, it's all about learning from maybe what led you to falling off track and jump right back on. Go from there. You got it, Beverly. Okay. All right. And so have added here as well in the chat box, you will see my email address. So if you have any other more personal questions or anything you'd like to contact me directly about, please feel free to send me an email there. So for next week, we're going to dive into the topic of intermittent fasting. And we're going to discuss why it may not be the best sustainable approach to weight loss. So I hope you'll join me again next Wednesday. And again, we're going to dive into that topic of intermittent fasting. So hope to see you there and hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Thank you.